As I try to catch them, my brain tends to make up words, because the words are moving so fast. Fans love the show, The Repair Shop, which follows skilled craftsmen as they bring old, prized family heirlooms and forgotten antiques back to their former glory. Each artist brings a different set of skills to the workshop and works carefully to keep the memories and stories that are hidden in old things. People have been watching for a long time because of the touching changes and strong ties to the past. This is the first time that Jay Blades, one of the show's most beloved actors, has talked about the repair shop, and fans are shocked by what he said. From simple beginnings to well-known name, Jay had a story of hard work, love, and a deep connection to craft that went beyond the workbench. Jay Blades grew up in a family that values hard work and creativity long before he became well-known on TV. As a child, he had problems that made him the strong and caring person that people knew him to be. His road to becoming well-known in the repair shop wasn't a straight one, but one with toughness and a strong desire to fix things. Jay has always liked making things with his hands. He loved giving old things new life, whether it was fixing a broken chair or turning old, worn-out furniture into something beautiful. He became more and more interested in restoring things, and over time, he got better at it. Jay did work in the background for many years, getting known as someone who did more than just fix things. He brought back memories, stories, and links. His natural charm and friendliness made him stand out in his community. People liked not only how well he did his job, but also how kind and careful he was with every piece he made. It was clear that what Jay fixed wasn't just valuable because of how it looked, but also because of what it meant to him. His work on TV would later be built around this deep respect for the stories behind things. When the service shop opened, it brought something new to the world of TV. It was a celebration of craft and community, with regular people bringing in valuable family heirlooms to be fixed up by skilled craftspeople. Jay would have been a great host for the show. He was able to connect with both the experts and the people who own the things, which made for a trusting and friendly environment. As the years went by, became the face of the show, not just as the host, but also as a sign of hope, kindness, and healing. A lot of people found Jay's story moving. He stood for someone who had been through a lot and found a place where their heart and skills could shine. His past made him easy to relate to, and his genuine interest in the craft made it easy for everyone to learn. People who watched Jay felt like they were part of a family, seeing not only things change, but also people's lives and relationships. Jay not only had great professional skills, but he also brought joy and lightness to the screen. His laughs, kind words, and thoughtful presence made the times we spent together feel personal and real. People didn't just watch the shop fix old things. They watched to feel the kindness and warmth that Jay and his team brought to every show. A lot of different skilled restorers, and the stories of the families who trusted them were held together by him. Jay became more important over the years. He fixed more than just furniture. He also helped generations get back in touch with each other. People often said that seeing someone care so much about their memories made them value their own family treasures more. The success of the show and Jay's long-lasting fame were built on this link. Though Jay's story isn't just a happy one, it did have some twists and turns like any other trip. Fans had loved the story because it was happy and warm, but it was about to be put to the test. The early years and rise to fame of Jay set the stage for a touching story, but his next move would bring problems that would change everything for him and the show that had become so associated with his name. The Repair Shop's heart. Jay has been the soul of the Repair Shop ever since it first aired. His job was a lot more than just presenting. He was the link between the skilled workers and the people who trusted the barn with their most valuable family heirlooms. Millions of people watched the show every week because Jay was always there, adding to its kindness and sincerity. There were quiet, important times in the repair shop when something broken, forgotten, or worn came back to life, and Jay was always there to lead the way. His ability to make people feel at ease helped a lot of them talk about how important their things were to them. Because of this emotional link, the show went from being a simple recovery show to a celebration of community and remembering. One thing that made Jay stand out was that he was genuinely interested in the stories behind each piece. He paid close attention and never rushed, always being aware of the memories that are being shared. No matter if it was a wedding dress from decades ago or a worn-out wooden toy that had been passed down through generations, they treated everything as if it were valuable. He loved history and family traditions, which is why both watchers and guests loved him so much. The show also had times of joy and laughter because of Jay's contagious energy. He kept things light by joking around with other restorers and telling jokes. This helped balance out the sometimes sad stories. Many of his fans remember his smile, how he encouraged the workers, and how he cried and cheered with joy at the final show. There were many memorable moments on the show that helped make Jay's reputation. One time was when he helped a guest whose grandfather had served in World War II fix up a beloved military outfit. It was very moving to see the guests connect with their family past through the careful restoration. And Jay was right there, taking part in the honor and pride. In another memorable episode, Jay worked with expert restorer Will Kirk to bring a family's old piano back to life. Many steps were taken to fix the instrument, but what really stood out was seeing the family's faces light up when they heard it play again. A sound that makes you remember, and fresh starts. Jay's excitement spread like wildfire as he told everyone to enjoy those times. Jay also became a guide on the show over time, sharing not only his skills, but also his life lessons. Many people were moved by his story of overcoming suffering, and his ability to find happiness and creativity made people think about their own lives in new ways. Jay saw the workshop as more than just a place to fix things. People could heal and find hope there. This way of thinking really hit home when people all over the world were feeling alone and unsure. Lots of people found comfort in the repair shop, which showed them how important it is to be kind and connect with others. Jay's presence was a steady anchor that brought comfort and a sense of routine to a crazy world. Jay stayed true to the values that brought him to this point, even as the show became more famous. Because he was honest and down to earth, people could relate to and believe him. His stability helped him gain devoted fans who saw him as more than just a TV star, and saw him as a role model for strength and kindness. Even though they were successful and got lots of praise, the stress of public life was always there. When the torch was shining on something, it used to make things look warm and inviting. Many people looked up to him, but he was also going through tough personal problems that would soon be made public. Jay had a huge effect on the repair shop and the people who went there. They have seen the good times, the special moments, and the strong emotional bonds he helped build. The tone changed, though. No one could have known that his problems would soon overshadow his public achievements. Being kind and skilled, people who know Jay's story, both personally and professionally, see a man who came from a hard background and became a source of inspiration and hope for many. Before the show, Jay's life was full of hard times and strong people. He overcame problems that shaped his view on life as he grew up in a tough setting. His early life showed him how important it is to have a community and help each other, which he would later use in his work on TV. Jay's story of change wasn't just about fixing things. It was also about fixing lives, including his own. When the repair shop opened, it gave Jay a unique way to share his interests and skills with a large group of people. However, it was his chance to show that life is not about where you begin, but about where you choose to go. People really connected with his honesty and humility, especially those who felt like they were ignored or undervalued. Jay's job grew beyond host to include author and representative. He wrote books about being creative and strong, telling people to accept their flaws and enjoy the process of making things better. He spoke out about problems that are often kept secret, which raised awareness about mental health. Because he was honest, he helped break down barriers and encouraged others to get help and support. Jay was known for being kind and friendly off-screen. During his free time, he often went to towns and schools to teach craft skills and encourage kids to be creative. He wasn't trying to get famous. He was trying to help others, which shows what he believed in. However, being in the public eye meant being watched closely, and sometimes private things were pushed into the public eye. More people had high hopes for Jay, and it became harder to tell the difference between his private problems and his public image. In his personal life, too, cracks started to show. When the stresses of fame were added to personal problems, they finally caused chaos. What began as private problems turned into public scandals, and Jay's carefully crafted image was put to the test. It is clear what he accomplished, but it is also clear what he went through. There were charges, removal, and a public storm. Fans all over the country were shocked when the story took a sudden and upsetting turn. It was a shock when Jay Blades, the friendly face and heart of the repair shop, was accused of major crimes that put everything he had at risk. It started out calmly, but quickly got worse. Jay was charged with controlling and abusive behavior toward his ex-wife, which had effects on many areas of his life. The accusations showed a disturbing pattern of physical and mental abuse that went on for more than a year. These comments were very different from how people had come to think of him as warm and friendly. When the news came out, they made broadcasters respond right away. The BBC moved quickly to remove all planned shows of the repair shop that featured Jay from their primetime time slots. Specials and similar shows that were supposed to air soon were either pushed back or canceled altogether. While dealing with the serious accusations against its star, the network had to figure out how to keep one of its most popular shows successful and honest. People immediately noticed that Jay wasn't there. The show's well-known face wasn't in any of the promotional materials, and it was said that the BBC was looking at other actors to fill his part. Craftsmen, who had worked at the repair shop for a long time, were quietly brought up as possible substitutes. But there was no public announcement right away, because the producers were still figuring out what was going on. The effect went beyond the TV screen. Jay was also kicked off the repair shop tour, a live event that went around the UK to celebrate the success of the show. This left-out part was a clear sign that the makers wanted to stay as far away from the trouble as possible. More projects that Jay was working on were put on hold or dropped. Behind the scenes, the team had a bond that had been built up over years of working together and trusting each other. He respected the skills of his fellow artists and pointed out that it was their combined experience that made the show seem real. Jay was still polite even after he was kicked off the show because of serious accusations. He didn't act out or show anger when he talked about what happened. Instead, he thanked the repair shop for the chances it had given him and the people he had met there. He admitted that the show had changed his life and said that it had fixed him in many ways by giving him support and understanding when he needed it the most. Quite a few people were shocked by this. Fans who thought there would be anger or hostility saw something else. A man who was dedicated to the show's ideals, even though he was having personal problems. It was clear that he cared about the art, the team, and the audience. Jay is also linked to the repair shop through the know-how and skills that the experts in the barn have shared. He talked a lot about how important it was to keep ancient crafts alive and teach them to new people. He said that this goal was at the heart of why so many people liked the show, because the show was about being kind, building community, and sharing emotional stories. It made a special place on TV where people could find comfort and hope. Jay's job as host was very important to this. Because he was friendly, excited, and personal, the stories came to life. Even though Jay was having problems in his personal life, his love for the show and its goal stayed strong. He said that the repair shop was like a family to him because they accepted him for who he was, flaws and all. This strong emotional link is what made Jay talk so fondly about his time on the show. Despite everything, fans got to see the real man behind the news through his thoughts. They saw someone who put kindness, relationship, and creativity above all else. It also made a lot of people wonder about his future and whether the repair shop door would ever open again. Someone broke Jay's silence but not with.